I think the funniest thing about Jeremiah stands is like when they constantly say Conrad doesn't know how to communicate. That's why he shouldn't be with Belly. Hold on, let me sip my tea because anyways, so what really kills me about this is that that's the point. That is the whole point. Everything is leading up to Conrad saying what's on his mind. Everything is leading up to that communication pushing through. So what are you guys mad about? And it's crazy because he's going to communicate in season 3 and then you guys are all going to call him selfish. You're all going to say that you guys are going to flip on him still. It's literally like he literally cannot win. He literally cannot win no matter what he does. He doesn't say anything, he's a villain. He says something, he's a villain. So at the end of the day, like in one ear, out the other ear, with y'all for real. Because season 3 is literally about how Conrad stepped back and grew as a person and becomes even better, and he comes one with himself, with who he was before he found out his mom's cancer came back and everything. Meanwhile, Belly's dating Jeremiah, the stagnant frat boy loser who doesn't help her grow at all and basically looks to her to coddle him the whole way through their relationship. So I think that's very funny, and that's why I keep saying you guys are in for a shock, the shock of your lives in season 3, because this is not Jeremiah's story. This is not his story. This is not in his favor. I do think that Jenny will give him a bit more of a detailed ending, just so you guys won't flip the table and like cause a scene and say XYZ and whatever. Like, I think she will give Jeremiah somewhat of a happy ending, but this still isn't his story. So brace yourselves for impact, I guess. I know some people in my comments like want me to talk about Conrad and why I like him so much, but the thing about me is like the reason why there's more footage on Jeremiah is because I genuinely don't understand how people don't see how he's a walking red flag, and the fact that the cast has called the books their blueprint. And if I'm warning you about what is to come for his character because I've read it, why are you getting mad at me? I just find it insane that Conrad has been labeled toxic because he's upset that his mother is dying. Like, I genuinely cannot process that information. Every day I come onto these social media apps and I learn something new. I find out something new. Y'all have no respect for people who have mental health issues. Like, and it's embarrassing, like, that you guys are being this loud about it. Like, have some remorse, have some compassion. Like, damn, like, they have been telling you, everybody in season 1 was saying, this is not Conrad is being out of character, he is being out of character. And for some reason you guys have still decided to take it at face value. His grief is consuming him, and despite the fact he isn't there mentally, he still tries to show up for Belly physically. So it's just like, I don't understand why people keep trying to use the prom situation as him breaking her heart. Couple things actually. Belly broke up with him. He had no idea what she was talking about. She immediately jumped to conclusions and broke up with him. If I hear you guys talk about this damn corsage one more time, I'm literally gonna scream. Like, who cares about the corsage? He still bought it. He just didn't bring it. And like, that is like there are bigger things to worry about. Like, I don't know, the fact that his mom was literally 2 weeks from dying. It's like a bit jarring to witness. Like, are you guys actually being this daft on purpose? Like, you guys keep saying it's a TV show, but like the whole point of all this media is it's supposed to be consumed and dissected, and literally there's layers to all of it. So saying the samurai turned pretty is romanticizing toxic relationships is actually insane, guys. He literally just has depression. He is depressed. He is going through grief. The whole point of this trilogy is that you see how this is Belly and Conrad's story. Like, I will never understand Jeremiah girls pushing their way through making a mockery of Jenny's writing and expecting things to go their way. This is Belly and Conrad's story. Even Jenny said herself, we're only at the middle part of the story. The whole point of these 3 books is we see the beginning, we're introduced to them. The second part, we see what happens, what went wrong, whatever. And then in the third part, another time jump, we see everything that's happened in those 2 years and all the growth that Conrad is going to go through and how he manages to manage his own grief and everything else surrounding that to become an even better man for Belly. And despite the fact that Conrad has actually apologized for everything, even things he shouldn't have even apologized for, you guys are still bringing up old shit. Like, and meanwhile, not a single apology has left Jeremiah's mouth. Literally not a single tear has left, unless the tear is for himself or his mother. But not a single, he does not feel bad about shit. Like, it's actually insane to me. And you think it's gonna go great for him in season 3? That's funny. I think they're making Jeremiah worse in the show than the book. So I was reading back on the book, as I do, and I came up on this part, and I kind of forgot about it. But they did this in the show. They did, my whole life I've looked up to Conrad. He's always been smarter, faster, just better. Maybe a part of me needed that, someone to look up to. They left out some really crucial things in this text that they didn't put in the show. Like, in the show, he finishes it off with but things are different and I don't feel that way anymore. And honestly, I don't think Conrad has done enough in the show for Jeremiah to feel like that. Everybody keeps trying to put blame on Belly in the show, ruining the brothers' relationship or whatever, but I think that's Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah is doing that all on his own. But yeah, this was really sweet. He said, I never really begrudged him that. He was just Conrad. He couldn't help being good at things, And that really is important. And I really want to know why that was left out. I am trying to think of reasons why, but I think it just kind of adds a bit more depth to Jeremiah. But clearly, this was taken out for a reason. My big brother, the guy who couldn't lose. So sweet, guys. This is so sweet. I just personally believe that Jeremiah in the show is worse. The amount of anger and resentment he has towards Conrad is so insane, and it's kind of hard to watch, honestly. But I also think it's all intentional. Another thing that got me about book Jeremiah versus show Jeremiah is in the books, when Conrad goes missing, Belly and Jeremiah go to his campus together. They go look for him together. Jeremiah goes and picks up Belly. But in the show, they made sure to deliberately leave out Jeremiah going and getting Belly. He made her take the bus. And then at the end of the season, Belly's just thank you for doing this. And he says something I don't even know the exact dialogue, but he says something along the lines I always got you or whatever, which isn't true. He said it again in season 1. Oh, I always come get you. It's not true. I just think it's really interesting that if they were going to keep up with that charade, they should have kept Jeremiah picking her up in the show. And another thing that's interesting to me is that when episode 2 starts off, I thought, as a viewer, when I was watching it, I was expecting this was Belly getting, I wasn't entirely paying attention, but I assumed it was Belly getting ready, she's, Jeremiah's outside waiting for her. So when she went outside and it was Conrad, I was like, oh, okay. And then they cut to Belly on the bus. And I was wait. And no, guys, I feel that was low-key evil, because they're showing that Conrad drove 3 to 5 hours or however to go get her, go back to Cousins, and then he is driving hours to go get this girl, and then Jeremiah won't even pick her up because he's still mad that she chose Conrad last summer. But I think Jenny is struggling to get this message across because too many people are attracted to Gavin, so they can't see the red flags within his character. Like I'm gonna give Jeremiah his fours. I'm gonna give him a four. Like he was fine. Like it wasn't terrible completely, especially in like book 2. He was still kind of like, just constantly talking about Conrad or whatever. But in the show, like he literally tried to take these two out with a firework. Like the way he is in the books versus the show is completely different. I literally think he's way worse in the show. Let's talk about Jeremiah being Hermes. Obviously, this was a very deliberate choice on Jenny's part. They even brought up him being a Greek god again in season 2 when they pulled up the old album and Conrad called him that. Jeremiah knows and sees all. The only thing he didn't know about was his mom's cancer, which also makes everything he does in season 1 even more interesting, because it just shows that this is who Jeremiah is. There wasn't any information that was altering him that could, change. Like, we know from what the characters were saying that Conrad was acting out of character this season. And it was because he found out that his mom's cancer came back. So Jeremiah doing all this, trying to separate Belly and Conrad, throwing a firework at them, all of them, that is just Jeremiah to his core. And the episode where Susanna wants to paint him as Hermes is the same episode he is actively trying to separate Belly and Conrad. He is the messenger. He is the trickster. He is very, very careful with his words. And I've spoken about this so many times this season because he just happened to say the right thing to Belly every single time. Like, he was very, very crafty with his words. It's like, even though people are like, oh my gosh, he was like pushing Belly away, this is all Belly's fault. Was he really pushing Belly away, or was he making her work? Or was he making her work to get her way back into his good graces? And at this point in the story, Belly has been through so much, she just wants to stop losing people. She just wants to be happy. So she will do anything to get Jeremiah back. I just find it very interesting how much information Jeremiah holds on to. Like, the fact the whole firework thing hasn't even really been, like, we haven't even really talked about that. He lied to Conrad and said that he didn't see them out there when he shot the firework, when he did. Then when he spends an entire day trying to separate Belly and Conrad, after seeing them and knowing they have feelings for each other and the fact that they were going to kiss, he makes his move on Belly. Then at the beginning of season 2, he tries to make her feel bad for kissing Conrad, as if this isn't what was originally going to happen if Jeremiah didn't interrupt and self-insert himself. Then he makes her feel like absolute shit for everything. And this is why this Hermes Easter egg is put in here. Hermes is known for being deceitful, a messenger, he's a prankster, he is just very low down. Like, he will manipulate a situation in his favor. And he can also do that because he sees everything from his world, the gods, and from the human world, the mortals. He sees everything. That's why this scene here that everybody keeps talking about, where they think it's such a big character development from Jeremiah, I don't see it. I'm sorry. He has spent the better part of a year basically guilt tripping Belly into feeling like shit for loving Conrad. He has caused everything leading up to this exact moment. And Belly and Conrad have their faults too, but that was between them. But there's things that they don't know that Jeremiah has done to their situation, and he keeps that to himself. So when all hell breaks loose and they finally brings them to this moment and he finally has Belly in a place that he wants her, all of a sudden it's, I want her to be happy. And bro, what? Like, Conrad saying here, no, she doesn't care anymore, she's done with me. And Jeremiah's like, maybe. Bro, you know full well that she is not over that man. Jeremiah knows everything. He sees everything. He has literally spoken to us about this. He says he sees the invisible force between them. He saw them try to kiss. He sees everything. Because even the day before, when Belly tried to talk to him on the beach about how she was feeling about the fact that Conrad came to him for his blessing, Jeremiah shut her down. Not once, but twice. And yeah, he does not want to hear about how, like, these things, these feelings she has for Conrad. Jeremiah is fully aware of everything that is going on in this triangle, and that is why it is so hard to sympathize with him.
This is why Belly will never be comfortable actually talking about her feelings.
I cannot stress to you guys enough how much I dislike Jeremiah. The way he is constantly dismissing Belly's feelings is actually irritating me. Because how much of a hold Jeremiah has on Belly's thoughts and feelings is severely overlooked. And this just made me so sad because she has nothing to be sorry about, and I'm tired of people silencing her when she wants to talk about her feelings. She tries to make him understand Conrad a little bit, and he shuts her down again, saying, "Don't defend him to me, not just this once." I cannot feel sympathy for this man. I literally just can't. Because in season 3, when all these feelings that you're making Belly bury come to the surface, you're gonna blame her for it, when he, Jeremiah, is just as much to blame. Gavin himself even says in the interview after that Jeremiah sees this as fair game. What game? This goes back to season 1 when Jeremiah goes to Conrad. Congrats today because I know how much you hate losing. And Conrad says to him, "It isn't about winning for me, it's about doing it the right way." They're talking about Belly. Why is this fair game to him? I don't understand. Jeremiah got three kisses and a boob touch, and he thinks like he's entitled to Belly. You guys are going up for Jeremiah even though they never dated. Belly and Conrad were in a committed relationship for months. Like, committed, going to Thanksgivings together, hanging out with the family together. They were in a committed relationship. She had her first time with Conrad. There's so much more depth to this, and you guys are trying to level the playing field, and it's not working.